Let's go. What is going on, Creator Now? Let me just get this up. What to say about this host? What to say about this host? This is a penny.
Nice.
And this is Ryan Trahan.
What's up, guys? Dude, that was awesome. That was an iconic introduction. Thanks, Mike. How we doing, guys? I just see some maybe circular mouths, so I can assume that you're going, woo! Woo! Yeah. Oh, the volume. That's crazy. It's so quiet in my headphones, but I believe it. I love the excitement. Man, this is super exciting, guys. It's super cool. I mean, I can see a lot of faces here. This is a very fun topic for me. It's about packaging, and I think that's a huge aspect of creating. It's something that nobody really teaches you. Kind of have to just learn from other people or potentially copy people religiously. And it's a thing. It's something I'm super passionate about. And obviously, this is something I'm stoked to chat. I mean, Eric was like, "Hey, what do you want to talk about?" Now he's like, "Packaging." That's I feel like that's the only thing that I kind of get. And so I'm super stoked, guys. Basically going to be doing a quick PowerPoint, put it together for you guys. I think I've got some pretty cool points here. But first, I just want to say congratulations to all of you guys. I feel like going after a dream like this it's something that not a lot of people get to do, not a lot of people get around to doing. And so I just want to say that all of you guys, I'm super proud of you. You're in great hands. I think Creator Now is the best idea ever. And I hope it serves you guys well. So with that being said, I'm going to share my screen now. Hopefully nothing embarrassing is shown, but we will see. Oh goodness, hold on. Might actually have an issue here. Let's see. Let me close that real quick. New share. Oh, no, that's not what we want. Hang on. Goodness gracious. Mike, I might need some help over here. I did it fine a second ago.
It was literally perfect when we first checked it out.
Right? I think I might have closed my, okay, here we go, guys. All right, desktop. No, we don't want that. The thing is, I have literally 25 windows open right now, which kind of adds to the chaos of this. So let's see what we got rocking and rolling here. Advanced. There we go. I see it. All right. Bada bing, bada boom. Everybody see this? Can we get a few of these in the chat? Thumbs up. All right. Packaging 101. This is fun, guys. Basically, like I said, this is, I mean, it's not everything you need to know, but I feel like this is almost everything you need to know to actually go viral on YouTube, blow up a channel, and actually have a successful channel for a long time. I think that there's a lot of ways to get views very fast, but typically that doesn't yield the type of channel that's going to build an audience, a community, and actually get views for 10 plus years. And I think a lot of us, I know I definitely, in a lot of y'all's position, I wanted to make this a career. And I feel like this is something I wish I would have seen. So I'm so excited to show this. And let's just get rolling. Let's just get going. So here's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to be talking about CTR, which is click-through rate, and why I think it's more important than retention. Kind of dramatic, it's kind of a big statement, but I think it's true. And a few other things is why it's important to know your target audience. Also, the importance of developing a theme, the Photoshop basics / tips and tricks, like just little things that I think we can do that take no time that automatically elevate your thumbnails, like literally 100%, a large amount. And then finally, how to go viral. So this is where it gets fun. And here's the question. Why is packaging even important? Can't I just make great videos? This is the age-old question, my friends. The answer, big no. It's not the case. You can't just make great videos, at least not in this landscape, not with the current algorithm. And honestly, I mean, the algorithm's been this way for several years now. So it is always changing, but one thing's consistent. If you're not clicking on a video, it's probably not going to get shown. So here's a great example of why I think click-through rate is more important than retention. And just, I don't know like how far along we all are, but I just bear with me. I just want to be respectful to every phase of this whole journey. So click-through rate is essentially based on the amount of impressions, the percentage at which people click on the video. So if it's shown to 100 people, a 10% click-through rate would mean 10 views. So that's like the basics of it. And obviously like click-through rate percentage, if you guys have seen like your videos have different amounts of views, you'll notice that it typically changes and the percentage itself isn't very helpful except for maybe like the first day or so. But yeah, I mean, this is something that I'm super passionate about. So let's take a look at this. You can see on the left here, exploring the Rocky Mountains. I mean, I'm in some pain. That's a solid thumbnail face. I would say that's like that's up there in the pain levels. If I don't even remember why I was so distraught. It wasn't that cold. There is snow around, which is fun. But basically, this video was uploaded a few years ago, and it's got 27,000 views, which is awesome. It has 62.3% retention, which is insane. Like that's a super good retention, even for me today. Like if I see that, I'm very excited. This video on the right has 20 million views and the retention is less than half. Okay. So the question is really like, it's like the chicken and the egg, what comes first? In my opinion, if you're uploading great videos, but the packaging is like this, there's just not going to be a situation where your video is going to be able to get the views that you want. And that's just, everyone has different goals and we'll go over that later. But for me, I think that if you can focus on your packaging first, like I would literally rather film this one video in an entire year. I could spend a whole year on that sucker and get way more channel views for the year than if I uploaded. I mean, I don't know the math exactly. What is that? 10, 100, over, that's almost 1,000 of those videos. That's crazy. I just did a little mental math. That might be completely wrong. So, I mean, it's either 100 or 1,000, but regardless, I think that's something to think about, guys. I think none of us are psychics. I will say that. That's like a huge disclaimer with this. And a lot of times you're going to get lucky by trying to implement what I'm about to show you consistently. And then when you get like better at it, you'll be able to eliminate bad ideas, knowing that they're not going to perform the way you want. And you'll be able to do the good ones and do them well, which is the ultimate caveat to this, which is retention is important, but I think click-through rate comes first. So I have a little case study for you guys, okay? This is nuts. This is one of my recent videos. It is overnight in the world's oldest underwater hotel. And this is, like, I just did this recently, I would say 2.5 months ago. And it really taught me a big lesson, taught me something. And that is to always go the extra mile to capture an amazing thumbnail. I feel like I was creating for at least 2 years, making the video, focusing on the video, and then they would be done. And then I was like, all right, what's this thumbnail going to be? And it was like, it really clicked for me when I found out that the best people on YouTube are creating the thumbnail first and then creating the video. And for me, I was just thinking like, I was like, that's such a thing you do afterwards. Like, why are you guys doing that? Until I saw the results they were getting by realizing like, oh shoot, this video, like I can't get a good thumbnail for this video. So is it worth creating? And I think that's the question a lot of successful YouTubers are asking themselves. That is extremely important. I even have a lot of friends that are starting YouTube channels and they'll do the same thing. I think it's a very natural thing to do because when you think of, oh, I'm trying to become a YouTuber, you make videos. But what they don't tell you is that you're also becoming like a professional marketer, like a professional. It's a sales thing. Like you have to understand your target audience. You have to understand like what's going to get them to click. And it's so capitalist. It's like, am I Jeff Bezos at this point? Because I'm trying to convert like customers or something. Like you have to really get people to want to click psychologically. And it's so crazy, but it's something that we all have to learn to be successful on this platform. So here's the story. Here's a little rundown. I saw this photo on the left online, and this is the photo that made me want to go to this place. And it's this guy who, it looks like he goes to the University of Miami. No clue who this guy is. Seems like a nice guy, pretty large hands. But that's what I saw online. And I was like, this guy just got the most insane thumbnail and he doesn't even know it. And so I go to this place and I got this guy. His name was Daniel. He was a scuba instructor that helped me get down here safely. And I was like, hey, Daniel, can you take this GoPro and just like point it at the window? And I'm gonna do something with my hands. Don't judge me. And he was like, okay, I'm not gonna judge you. And I was like, thank you, Daniel. And bless his heart, man. This is what we got. We got this thumbnail on the right. Literally, I can count the pixels on this screen. It's so lame in comparison. Where's the freaking eroded, rusted, metal things? Where's the smile that the guy had? I mean, the smiles may be unnecessary. I think I had a decent face, but it just obviously didn't pan out. And so at this point, I'm still filming the video. Like this is all happening while the video is being recorded. And finally, it's like 1 a.m. I finish filming and I go to plug in this GoPro into my laptop, which is so weird that I was able to get a laptop underwater. It's still so cool. I plug it in and I look at it and I see this guy right here. And so that's kind of when I start panicking. I'm not gonna lie. I start panicking a little bit. I'm like, wow, I came all the way to Florida filming this video. I'm literally like 20 feet underwater right now. And I don't think people are gonna click on this. And so I throw it in Photoshop. I try making it much, much more like this. In fact, I think I even got to a point where I took this guy's head off, put mine on it. It looked so fake. It looked so bad. And that's when I realized, oh my gosh, is Daniel still awake? And so I text this man at 2 a.m. and I'm like, Daniel, I am so sorry. Is there any way you can come back and help me take more photos? I didn't say thumbnails. He has no idea what a thumbnail is, but I was like, I need more. And so, I mean, I offered to pay him money. And basically, he's the sweetest man in the world. I got so lucky by finding this guy. He was just so proud of his work and proud of his job. He was like, don't even worry about the money. I'm going to come take this thumbnail. Puts his scuba suit on, comes back down. We're down there for 2 hours, back and forth, getting this thumbnail. And here is the final product. So 2 a.m. to 4 a.m., I'm pooped. Daniel, this man, I paid him $500. He didn't want to accept it at first. I paid him $500 for helping me do this. And 5 hours of Photoshop later, this screen grab, or we recorded a video, so one of the frames from this screen grab became this thumbnail, which it's still not what I expected. That wasn't the initial vision. You can't really see all these like bolts. It's very low quality, but I made it bluer. I sharpened my face a ton, added this text on screen. And this video will be one of my most viewed videos on my channel, period. And it's just so crazy how we all mentally try to reason with ourselves on how to sort of compromise and how to be like, I mean, this thumbnail is good enough. Like it's good enough. But then it's only in the aftermath that you can really appreciate the extra mile that you went, the extra effort that you put into it when it's blowing away your expectations. And that's the beautiful thing about YouTube is you are competing with so many people. You're competing with so many impressions. There is a finite amount of impressions on this platform. And at the end of the day, it's cutthroat out here. Like the difference between 1% on click-through rate could be the difference between you beating out some other video and ultimately rising to the top and getting millions of views on it. And so this taught me a lot. It's something that I feel like I try to implement like from that moment on, and it's definitely paid off. So ultimately, that's kind of the big takeaway is always go the extra mile, especially if it's an idea that you believe in, which is hopefully the only ideas you're doing. But yeah, let's see what else we got. This is going to be know your target audience. So this is an interesting graph right here. This is essentially YouTube's growth. And I think that this is exciting for everyone in here because I would still say that you're early on. Like I think Eric even showed a lot of us, it's not too late to become a creator. And seeing what he did in a year, I mean, the dude is awesome. Obviously, he's extremely skilled and talented, hardworking. But I see a lot of that in you guys. Just being in this group says so much about your character and where your heart's at with this. So for me, I'm just always excited about graphs like this that show the growth. Because I mean, this is one of those things that just keeps going up as people gain access to the internet, as people look for different forms of media to consume other than like TV. I don't watch TV. I don't consume that anymore. So I'm excited for, just like the next generations and what it's going to bring. So here's what I have to say. YouTube has 2 billion monthly active users, and that number is increasing. That's so many people. And the thing is, your target audience is going to be a slice of that pie. And the question you need to ask yourself is, how big of a slice are you going after? And the reason I say that is because you can make a happy lip. Let me go to this next slide. Here's my sort of example. This is a crypto thumbnail that was in my homepage for some reason. Never seen this one in my life. And it's like the most niche topic you can imagine, right? I have $1,000. Which crypto do I buy? Part 2 at that. It's not even part 1. I don't know how I got this, but I did. And man, it got 3.7 thousand views in 4 hours. And with that sort of topic, I mean, we can talk about revenue another time, but like crypto or finance, whatever, those CPMs, the amount of money you earn per view is much higher than broadly appealing content. I guarantee you Crypto Tips here is making a great living. She's probably very happy. If that's her, she seems, older. Like she's been able to make this work. It's not just like a kid YouTuber. There's so many topics and so many people interested in so many things. This is okay. 0.0001% of YouTube browsers might be interested in this. But you can't be upset if you're making content like that and it's not getting Mr. Beast level views or even like Eric level views. And I think it's just being honest with yourself and like self-reflecting. Am I making content that yields the type of impressions that I want? And I think that was a big thing for me coming up. I started as a running YouTuber, and I saw that the biggest running YouTuber had 100K subscribers, and he was getting like 5,000 views a video, which I'm like, that's awesome. That's so cool that someone interested in running, literally just putting your leg in front of the other one, can make a career out of it. But I realized like, no, dude, I want to be competitive and like become a top creator someday. And so I switched to much more broadly appealing content. And so you look at someone like Mr. Beast, this is his most viewed video. And I mean, there are some childlike elements of the thumbnail, and he's definitely gone more towards like childlike, or not necessarily childlike, but like more cartoonified thumbnails. But this one, it looks relatively like, I don't think this is screaming, this is only for kids. I think this is like interesting for literally an 8-year-old and an 80-year-old. Oh my gosh, like imagine a grandparent being like, what the heck, is second day in solitary confinement? It's something like, I think it just begs the question for everyone. Like, this is so interesting. And so you have to realize like, okay, my content is either going to get me to that next step, whatever that may be, or it isn't. And it all depends on what you want. Like, don't let anyone tell you that a channel that gets 10,000 or 50,000 views isn't worth pursuing, because I know so many people that make an amazing living off of that. But at the same time, I think a lot of us want to go viral, and like we look up to people like Eric and Mr. Beast. And so we have to look at what they're doing, and that is reaching a bigger pool of people. So let's see what's next. We got this. This is ultimately like the takeaway. Views are really just impressions plus clicks. So it's like how many times YouTube shows it to people and how many people it shows it to. and how often they click. Views are not this like just exponential, like, oh yeah, it's just a view. It really is a finite thing. Like there's finite resources in order to yield and harvest a view. And so ultimately what I'm come to the conclusion of is if you want to do the maximum impression route, you need to have the most broadly appealing content. And if you want to have the maximum click route, you need to have thumbnails and titles that are just irresistible for those people. And so that's sort of like the most simple way to look at this, guys. It's like, okay, I'm not happy with where my views are. I need to up both of these and you'll see results. I guarantee you. And a lot of that comes from just copying top creators. Like I guarantee you, if you just like look, and I'll show you some more examples here in a bit, but there's so much to be done. Always progress to be made. So YouTube won't show a video that I meant to say a person probably has no interest in. That doesn't make any sense. A video that a video probably has interest in. Sorry about that, but you know what I mean. YouTube's not going to show a video to someone who, like, I keep up with crypto stuff. You got me, all right? But I've never seen crypto tips before. So they showed me a video I might be interested in. Maybe I'll click on one of our videos in the future, but I didn't this time. But more often than not, YouTube's showing me content that I pretty much click on. And so just think about that when you're creating. If you want more views, your content needs to either appeal to more people or your content needs to rise to the top of your niche through better click-through rate and retention. And ultimately, like, that's exciting to me. I think especially when you're starting a channel, having a niche topic can be extremely helpful because you're not like swinging for the fences and trying to become the MVP of the world immediately. Like sometimes you got to work your way up. And I think it's a very, very great way to get started. So let's keep rolling. I'm excited about this. This is probably my favorite section. This is develop a theme and the importance of developing a theme. And I think a lot of YouTubers getting started don't do this because we're looking at so many different creators. We're inspired by so many different creators and the world is just our freaking oyster. But every massive YouTuber I've seen has some sort of theme. And this allows for viewers, even if it's 10 viewers, it allows for them to recognize a thumbnail from a video that they previously enjoyed. Like, oh, I really like this video. It's like a psychological connection. So if you're a big David Dobrik fan and you see this freaking expression where he's just like, I don't even know what emotion that would be. It's like panic and maybe a little bit of constipation. It's a mix of something, but I know that that's probably going to be a video that I enjoy if I'm a David Dobrik fan. And so you can look at every successful channel of different niches too. David Dobrik, he's got the face. Dream, he's got the freaking dirt blocks and he's got a big splash of green oftentimes. These are literally 4 videos in a row. I couldn't believe my eyes when I really appreciated this. And they've all been so successful. You've got people like Mark Rober who take a different approach and we'll dissect that here in a bit. Mr. Beast, dude's got this, didn't even bother taking more photos. Dude's got the same file repeated 4 times in a row on his Beast Reacts channel. And so, I mean, you've even got, like, this is a smaller niche. Haley, she keeps up with this girl. It's Michelle Choi. And Living Alone Diaries is just the text on every single thumbnail. And it's just her in an environment. And that's consistent enough for her viewers to be like, oh, Michelle, I love her videos. I needed this right now. I'm clicking on that. And then even Emma Chamberlain and her new sort of evolution that she's creating, there's a lot of thematic consistencies here that we can talk about here in a sec too. But I would say this, if I were to try to start a channel fresh, I mean, this whole I'm excited about this section. I think this section is the bread and butter of packaging. So ways to develop a theme. Number 1, I think you guys should pick one of these, by the way. I really do. Make your face the consistent theme. I mean, you can see people, I mean, maybe not that consistent with Mr. Beast Reacts here, but maybe that's sort of what you're going towards. I definitely think that this sort of face every single thumbnail is definitely more kid oriented, and that's totally fine. The views are there for children content. And if you're family friendly, I think that's a great way to go anyway. And then Danny Gonzalez, he's a YouTuber. He's a commentary YouTuber, and he's much more aged up, but literally same principles. I mean, there's no real age cutoff to have your face in every single thumbnail and make it very recognizable. And dude, Danny's got like the most amazing fan base. And they are an older demographic, but they recognize, like, there's an emotion that is provoked from his fans when they see his face this large in a way that they hadn't seen before. Like, if this thumbnail popped up and you've never seen it before, it's new content. It's like this dopamine rush of like, oh my gosh, I'm about to like be excited and happy again for 19 minutes and 9 seconds. And I think that's definitely the goal. Like, that's the relationship we want with our audience. When they see a new video, they just are so stoked to click. But if it's a thumbnail they don't recognize, that may not happen. That trigger may not happen. Here's other ways. Make the font consistent. Okay. I would say this might be one of the easier things to do if you're trying to make sort of more broadly appealing content, because I think that putting your face in every thumbnail like that, where it's like cut out, it kind of already lacks realism. And so you can't really have a naturally occurring moment, like a screen grab type moment, if your face is like cut out and it's taken up half the screen. So I definitely think you have to evaluate, okay, what exactly is my niche here, and what can I sort of create within that? Like, I definitely think I've done both. Like, I've done commentary. I've had tons of thumbnails where my head is like half the screen. But as of right now, I'm definitely trying to take more of a Mark Rober approach, where it's like epic moment or epic thing or simple thing with text on screen that's consistent. I see a lot of guys and gals like still putting different fonts in every thumbnail. And it's so unfortunate, because if you just find one good font that really sticks out, sorry, Spock, you can't be barking. I've got a cute little guy here. He's literally barking at nothing. You can be developing a brand, is what I'm saying. Like, you can be developing a theme that people recognize with literally a free font. And this is Veritasium Science Channel. Love this guy's channel. If you guys are interested in like this sort of stuff, like just random science thoughts, like, it's pretty crazy. I didn't expect I'd be so into it. His videos are amazing. And I know, like, if there's like a blackish background with this font, that's Veritasium. And I'm going to enjoy that. Let's put it on the TV. So another way, and this is something that I think I'm really focused on, and I'm like giving you guys everything. Like, I'm not holding back any sort of secrets or anything like that. Like, this is everything I'm trying to implement. So this is like color blocking / like an Instagram feed approach. And I think Emma Chamberlain does an amazing job at this. You can kind of see, if you sort of like step back and squint your eyes, all of the thumbnails kind of have a significant color block. You know, this one's got pinkish purple. This one's bluish. This one's literally orange completely. This one's white. And I think what this does is it doesn't necessarily like stick out independently, but I think that you can create sort of a theme that it's almost like the theme is being clean plus person plus color. And I know that sounds like very rudimentary, but I think that I think there's something there. So with my Penny Challenge series here, I've got an interesting thing here to share with you guys for that first episode. But I was like, how am I going to make these feel similar? And luckily I found this font that I really like. And so I put the font on there. But then after that, I was like, I can't like just pose in this grass for 6 videos in a row. And so what I did is I tried to like sort of tell a story through the thumbnail, but make the background a different color. So we like went down this trail and I took this picture with the bike in the back. And I really loved how my blue shirt sort of like contrasted with the dirt. And I think if you kind of take a more artistic approach to thumbnails, you'll start to realize like, and I have a great example, sorry. And I have a great example in a second, but you'll start to realize why colors matter. And yeah, so I mean, the background here on the second episode, that video did amazing. I think it's a very appealing thumbnail, especially with the title. It's like, how did you buy a bike if you survived on a penny? And it's just that immediate conflict, but the simplicity of the background is just awesome. And so we did that with concrete and then the sky. And then I continue to do it throughout the series. So think about that, guys. Think about like, how can I make this look as simple as possible? Like there's literally 3 shapes on this. It's my face, penny, text. The background, you don't even think about the background because it's the same throughout the whole thing. And so think about that. I think that's a huge, huge thing I'm trying to implement. If you just keep watching my channel, I'm going to be doing that like as much as possible. And I would even say like this thumbnail, the blue underwater hotel, is me trying to do that as well. Like I want people to squint and just see blue on their homepage because I think it sticks out like crazy. So here we go. Next up, we got Photoshop basics / tips and tricks. I don't know if everyone here uses Photoshop. It is like a paid tool. But I think if you are committed to really trying to make this happen and make this work, I think Photoshop is like an essential tool to learn. And I mean, more successful YouTubers, I know people that hire thumbnail artists, and that's totally fine. I think if it's something you don't love and you find someone better than you at it, that's realistic. But personally, I love thumbnails. It's like I obsess over them. I enjoy making thumbnails more than I enjoy making videos. And so I think that just learning it and being a student of Photoshop can yield so many more views for you over time. And honestly, just increase your brand as well. Because I think as creators, it's important to think about like, how am I actually being perceived to other people? And I think all of us have different goals, obviously, but you can do a lot by making your channel look clean. And even with brand deals, like in the future, as you guys sort of grow, you're going to notice that brands want to gravitate more towards people that have like a very like just clean aesthetics, like Veritasium. This guy down here, this guy gets brand deals like in every video. And it's because his product is like so clean if you think about the videos as a product. So here's a great example. I think this is like what I see my friends doing when they're getting started on YouTube. Somehow they'll find the worst font on Photoshop and they'll put it on there. They'll make it a color that does not contrast with the background. And they'll just slap it in there, guys. And it's like, this has to be the easiest way to make your thumbnails look better. Font. Find an amazing font and look at, I mean, the top creators are all using great fonts. I think that fonts definitely evoke a certain emotion, reaction, whatever. And so, for example, I'm sorry I'm going back and forth so much. I want to go to Mr. Beast's. This font right here, I kind of mentioned that I feel like it's broadly appealing, but I feel like this font is definitely like, okay, that's kind of for kids. Like that font to me is too child-oriented. Whereas like Veritasium's, for example, might be, honestly, I think Veritasium's is perfect if I'm being honest, but I think Mark Rober's might be too like sciencey oriented, but it's very legible and it's obviously very successful for him. But I don't think a kid sees that as much as Mr. Beast's font and like thinks like, oh, this is for me. But I guarantee you kids are still watching Mark Rober's videos because look at this Jello pool. That's so exciting for anyone. Same with the shark video. So this is something I just put together and it's a new video I'm working on right now. I survived 50 hours in third person. And I don't think I'm going to be using either of these. Definitely not the thumbnail on the left, but I don't think I'm going to be using this thumbnail as a whole. I have another one I'm excited about. But whenever I sort of took this text, I had it in the corner at first, and then I saw this empty space. And I was like, really just thinking about font for a sec when I made it this large. And I was like, wow, there are some really bad fonts out there, and I really like mine. And I feel like from afar, it's so legible. It contrasts the blue so well, and I'm very happy with it. And I didn't always have a font that I liked. I didn't always have a font that I felt, I don't know, it didn't feel like me. And so finding this was super exciting. And literally after this call, I would go on dafont.com, even just Photoshop or any sort of software, Google Docs, find a font, throw it onto some of your current thumbnails and see what happens. Because I think you'd be amazed and surprised at how much that can do. And I think that this right here represents like the one switch that so many of my young, like not young, but like early on YouTube friends can do and make a huge difference. So this right here is cool. Basically, guys, this is this penny challenge. This has been like my most successful series, and I did it about 4 months ago. And my channel was in a big lull at this point. Like I was kind of just like confused as to what I wanted to create, which just briefly, kind of off topic. Now that I just made me think about this, I really love Creator Now, and I think that one of the most important things you guys can do as creators moving forward is get plugged into like Creator Now, obviously, but also like a very tight niche. And I love that you guys have teams in this whole thing. I think talking to other creators and just reasoning through your thoughts can make you feel so much less isolated. Because like I just want to say, like I had a solid 6 month to a year phase where I didn't really believe in myself. I thought I was like, honestly, I was like falling off relative to what I was creating before. And I lacked confidence and I lacked self-belief. And this series really changed a lot for me. And this has given me like a whole new wave of confidence, and it's taught me a lot about myself. And so I just like, that's kind of off topic. I just want to encourage you guys, like things can change in an instant. And you never are going to expect it. You're never going to be like, all right, this is the moment. But literally things happen so fast on YouTube. And I'm really excited for all of you guys. So this is like something that's crazy. The left photo is the real photo. That's like, I mean, the penny isn't that large. It's basically this photo of me on the asphalt is the original file with the yellow shirt. And I edited it up. I put a penny on there. I put the text on there. And that's what I posted on the first day of this being uploaded. And I mean, my channel, like I said, it wasn't like my channel was in a great spot, but it literally underperformed. And I was like, I guess the video is not that good. And then I realized I was like on dark mode and I saw my own video and I was like, oh my gosh, this does not pop at all. And so I want to sort of let you guys remember every thumbnail is either put on dark mode or light mode. It's either dark gray or white as a background. And that is a really good way to try to get your thumbnail to pop in a realistic way. Basically, like that's something to keep in mind. So the left side, it's dark. I think it's relatively sad energy, like it doesn't pop. And the right side, I actually think represents the series so much more. It's like this very happy-go-lucky series where I'm like talking to people and it's a great time. And it just feels happier. Like it pops so much. And I made the shirt white because the yellow and green looked weird. And I spent a lot of time on it. And then literally, I could show you the graph, but the graph was basically just like flat up. And it's crazy how I just changed the color of the background in my shirt. And it's just nuts, guys. So don't think that one little change can go a long way, because this series changed my life, like truly, just on a personal note. Sorry, I keep saying, my computer keeps thinking I'm saying, hey Siri. Oh gosh, I just said it again. It's gonna pop up. Okay. That's funny. Yeah, no, this series changed my life in a big way, like even financially, and like in a way that it just gave me like so much emotional confidence. And it literally was from a background color change. And then that set the tone for the rest of the series, where I'm like, okay, let's make each background color blocked and do something awesome. And so I can't stress enough how crazy that is. One color difference from a life-changing moment. So this is my biggest tip as well. Every tip's my biggest tip. I think they're all important. Try to get a real photo that people can't resist clicking on, because this reduces the risk of making something that looks fake in Photoshop. The best Photoshop is no Photoshop. That's like, if I could freaking write something down, I can write something down. It's possible, but I haven't written it down. That's like such a crazy mindset shift for me, because I love Photoshop. I love like just working in it and trying to make photos look doctored and stuff, or not look doctored. But I realize like my best thumbnails are when it's a real photo. It's like barely changed. And so how can I create that? And I put this together on the left briefly, but the point is, you're never going to make something look real, more real than the real thing. And so this photo on the right, like I freaking love this thumbnail. We literally chopped down a dying tree on my property. The real one has holes in it, actually. I think that might actually be the next slide. But guys, like trying to rely on your Photoshop skills, if you're not like literally the best in the world, it's probably going to fail you, and it's probably going to translate to less clicks. And so spend that extra hour, like, oh no, let's get more photos, like different angles, different lenses. Like I use my iPhone sometimes I use my camera, sometimes I use GoPro. Like let's try them all and let's see what looks the best, because I'm saving myself time right now if I just spend this hour right now getting the best photo instead of trying to spend 6 hours in Photoshop to make it look real. So I don't actually have it, but basically this thumbnail actually had there were holes in these logs, and it's like rotting in the inside, and this tree in my yard was like deteriorating, and I was trying to figure out how to make this thumbnail like super, super compelling. And like, I was like, am I really going to cut down this like old oak tree right now? And I did. And it literally like, it was just like, obviously I'm not proud of that. Like, that's not a good thing, but I was relieved when we saw the inside. It was like, it's like this massive hole. But man, it just showed me like, wow, I just went to that effort to get this thumbnail, and that video is just smashing. And the content isn't that good. Like that was one of those videos where I was like, oh, I got to post something. And that's not really my mindset anymore, but I did it and the video is okay, but the thumbnail is just awesome. And so it did amazing. And that's just all, it goes back to going the extra mile. I could have Photoshopped some sort of logs. Would it have done this well? I don't think so. So how to go viral, in my opinion, if this is your goal, it's a good goal to have. It's exciting. It's like shooting for the moon. You land amongst the stars or whatever. I don't know. Something motivational about that. But basically you take a broadly appealing concept, give it an incredible thumbnail, concept being the title, in my opinion, give it an incredible thumbnail that goes through all of these. This is very fast, goes through all of these. Let's see. So basically, knowing your target audience, make a thumbnail that is for your target audience. Make sure it's within your theme. Make sure the font is consistent. Try to make it simple, like a few shapes, ideally. And don't overdo it. Try to get a real photo. Take that, and then you pair it with the above average retention, which I'm sure you guys are learning. That's the recipe. And if I'm being 100% honest, I think it's an 80-20 Pareto's principle or whatever type thing, where click-through rate is 80% of the value of successful content. Like I've had amazing videos, even recently, like amazing videos that just don't get clicked on. And I'm like, dang, that sucks. Maybe I should have picked a concept that the thumbnail was just more intriguing. And I think that's sort of my mindset now. I would rather eliminate any bad ideas. And it kind of comes with experience, but I'd rather not spend time on the ideas I'm not 100% confident about and put that time and energy into the ones that I am. And man, I'm telling you, when you know you've got a banger thumbnail and title and you pair it with an above average retention, meaning like this video is good. Like I could show this to anyone and they're going to be interested. The video is going viral. And I think that's the most exciting thing about all of this is we have the tools. You guys in Creator now have the tools that, I mean, Eric, like literally all these people, Hayden too, an amazing editor, like learning from these people, you have the tools that we have. And I just feel like that's so exciting, especially at y'all's phase. Like the amount of knowledge y'all are absorbing is so awesome and super excited for you guys. So now is just a very exciting time. I'm very hyped about this, but we're going to be doing Q&A and critiques. Mike, what do you think we should do first? What's the vibe? What are we thinking?
Let's do the critiques and then end on the Q&A.
Sweet. I like that. Awesome. All right. Let me escape this. So, I hear someone in here is Creator of the Week. And so we are actually going to be doing this channel first. Very excited about this. So I'm going to be doing critiques on some of the channels, and maybe these principles can apply to you guys. But man, this is super exciting. First of all, Sips Photo Tips, such a good name. I'm not even critiquing anything about the names, but I love that name. And here's what I want to do. I'm actually going to zoom in. Mike, can you just give me a thumbs up if it works? I was going to try to zoom in so the thumbnails are a bit bigger. Did that work? Sweet. Awesome. Okay, cool. So let's talk about titles and thumbnails. So let's see. This first one, the trick to using layers in Photoshop. And this is something I'm excited about because I would probably watch this channel, and I probably will. But this is starting with a niche category. And that is, I imagine it's very much like tech related. That's sort of like, I get photo tips, obviously, from the name. And so I think something we can learn from him is, let's make my channel completely understandable in one page. And that's something I didn't understand for a long time. And so in my opinion, the banner, the profile picture, the name, and all of the titles and thumbnails should give me an understanding of what this creator does and why they do it and how they do it. And in my opinion, he's killing it. Like that's a huge camera with wheels. The dude didn't even give up that. Like, that is so cool. That's so awesome. And so I think on that front, amazing job. Now, this thumbnail in particular, the trick to using layers in Photoshop, love the Photoshop logo and, building me. It's very cool how you sort of created the scenario within the thumbnail. That's like so genius. I will say there may have been a more simple way to do this. And that may be something like making it feel like a 3D photo, or it may be something where there's just less shapes. I think that's probably going to be my biggest critique for most people in here. And it's just making the thumbnail simpler. Like, although it feels like there's less information, you're actually giving them less information by giving them more, because they're not going to process like, oh, I'm reading this word and this word, and I can see the shape here, and I understand what that tool means. Like the decision to click or not is so quick. It's like, yes or no, swipe, yes or no, swipe, yes or no, swipe. And so I think you really have to realize like, okay, they just can't process that much information that fast. How can I make this extremely simple and engaging in a moment? And I think this is a good example. You don't need an expensive camera to be, not sure what the last word is, but I'm intrigued. I'm not sure if that was just a ... or if my screen's too small, but I will say what I like about this more is that I wouldn't say it's 3 shapes, but it's at least more simple than the last. It's camera, guy, and background. Although the background is all like a bunch of different shapes, and it's still like understandable. Okay, money. So what I would say for this channel is like, there's some people dominating this like sort of tech niche. And I think of people like Marques Brownlee. And if you look at Marques Brownlee's channel, or I don't know, a lot of channels within this niche, it's a very particular aesthetic. It's like white background, product is super HD and crisp, and that's really it. And it seems to work for that niche. And so I would encourage some copying if I were you, and just like, especially if you're going to be doing a product oriented, whether it's review or whatever this type of content is, maybe even make the camera look so cheap that it's like, oh, I don't need an expensive camera. Like, this thing looks like it was from a Happy Meal from McDonald's or something. And then it creates a question within the viewer where it's like, oh shoot, what's he doing with that camera? Or even maybe a title where it's like, maybe the concept as a whole should be, I created $1,000 commercial for $1. Like, the numbers go crazy for people. Like, tell a story through this concept that is bigger than just like, you don't need a expensive camera and so on. But yeah, I mean, I love that. I love these topics. How I got here, obviously very niche, only to your audience. The thumbnail is super interesting. I'm not sure how photoshopped it is. I will say a lot of these thumbnails do feel fairly washed out, where it's like, I don't know, like they don't pop as much if you up the contrast and saturation. Like, I think that would do a ton. And then here, separation, adding haze in Photoshop, that's super cool. I will say, I think this is a font situation too, where if you take Veritasium's font or something like that, I think you'll see like amazing results. Like, just take the best possible available packaging from other people that are killing it. And you'll notice like, oh, my videos feel like higher quality from the thumbnails now. And it's a change that happens instantly. Another thing is just, I think the yellow glow around the Photoshop symbol might put you in a hole in some situations, like where yellow doesn't necessarily look good with a particular color in the back. And that's what I kind of mentioned about my penny challenge thumbnail, where it was black and then yellow. And then I changed the background to green, and yellow just looked weird after that. So I just wouldn't limit yourself to that. Honestly, I think a black drop shadow would look better. And dude, just making like the left side look super saturated, like blue. And the right, I think the right looks great. Apart from the blue font, I would make that white with some drop shadow and stroke. And then, yeah, I mean, this is super cool too. I think that's a little bit more abstract, where like you're kind of telling the story through some paint splatters. But maybe I personally like this concept for that concept, where it's like before and after. I think that's a very, very easy thing to understand. So overall though, like, I think amazing job. Like, I think that this niche is like very big and it's like very profitable. And there's just people interested. I can tell you're passionate about it. So just keep up the great work. And this is a journey, guys. Like you don't have to be perfect on your next video, but it's just about taking steps in the right direction. And I can tell like you're improving so much just through this process. So great job. Snaps. Love it so much. Best of luck. So yeah, here. All right. We got Rachel. Rachel, right? Oh, okay. This is a big channel, 7,000 subscribers. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm gonna go to your recent videos. This is fun. Okay. See, I love how different this is. It's super exciting. You've got some consistent fonts. This one is different from this one, which is different from that one, which is totally fine. I can totally imagine being in a situation where like that font feels right. It's like, kind of feels like a collegiate font. But man, this is exciting. Okay, cool. So, let's take a look. I love that you're basically wearing like a black shirt in almost all of these thumbnails. I feel like keep doing that and then try to make your background colorful. Or even like your face is enough sometimes, like just your skin tone here and the bright green here feels like that's a solid thumbnail. But why I wake up at 5 a.m., maybe you can create some sort of conflict within the thumbnail that's a bit more intriguing than you already being awake. You don't necessarily look too tired. Maybe it's like you're in bed and it's like almost a more cinematic shot where you're in bed and you're just like completely exhausted. And there's like a bluish window and there's like a moon outside. Try to make it look realistic. That sounds very like fantasy like, but maybe some sort of conflict where you're like a zombie waking up. You're like so exhausted, but there's a reason for it. And I think that like just create a story in the thumbnail and you'll see so much result. How to make good habits. I love the title. How to make good habits stick in college. I love this video. I think that's a great title and thumbnail. Self-care is ruining your life. I think that's super funny. I think that this is almost like the Emma Chamberlain approach, where it's almost a lower quality thumbnail, but that makes it kind of funny and recognizable. And I recognize, like, trust me, I hate when people look at my videos. I'm like, oh, I've learned so much since then. So don't think I'm like saying you're like this now, because I can see like the new upload was 5 days ago. I will say the glowing pops a lot, but I think you can make something else pop that's going to be a bigger color or maybe some sort of conflict. I feel like with this sort of font strategy, it feels like the font is the main focus, which is fine. But I think that the font should sort of aid what story you're trying to tell. I don't think it should be like the main attraction. So the one thing I used to stop procrastinating. Yeah, I think this is all great. Like you're definitely far along and very excited about you uploading it again. This is super great. So overall, I would say find one really good font that you like, black shirt every thumbnail, but then find ways to make your background contrast with the black shirt a ton. So I do like this thumbnail for that reason, because the room is more white, but the black chair doesn't necessarily contrast as much. But yeah, I think that you're doing great things. I think this is obviously like something you've done for a long time. So yeah, I think this is great. and keep it up. Cool. So we got the real Jared. Wait. Oh, yes, dude, let's go. I know you. That's so crazy. All right, this is awesome. Yeah, okay, so overnight at a 5-star treehouse. That's awesome. That's like a great title. I would put okay, I'm being like super technical here, but I would, if I were you, I would lowercase the at and the a. This is something I've started doing, and I feel like it just makes it feel more trustable for some reason. It's so nuanced. Like so many things on YouTube will make someone feel a certain way. I would lowercase the at and the a, and then I would put a dash between 5 dash star, and just make the star like a normal word, like capital S TAR, TAR being lowercase. And I would maybe add 5 stars to the bottom left of this, like a Yelp review, just because that feels like empty space anyway to me. But you know, I think that this is just future thinking. I think this thumbnail would be better if I imagine this is like where you cut yourself out and then you put yourself in front of the photo. I think if you're going to be doing conceptual videos like this, try to make it one photo if you can. Try to make it like, okay, this is a real image, and then find a way to make that image awesome. And I think that, but dude, I mean, this is all great. Like I'm super hyped about this because I can tell like this is a channel that has a lot of potential to really just go viral at any moment. And so, yeah, I mean, I love your expressions. I competed in my first ever Spartan race, and I'd have to watch the video, but I think Spartan race, like I ran in high school and college, and I don't know what a Spartan race is. So maybe like a question like, can you survive? And then whatever the Spartan race is, like the 100-mile, it's probably not 100 miles, but make it something that like, okay, even if I don't know what a Spartan race is, I know what that is. Can you survive a 100-mile run? Like, I don't know what it is, but something that like brings more people in. And dude, that's your best performing video. So what the heck do I know? But I think that you can reach more people by making things more broadly appealing. How I started my $2,500 podcast. That's super awesome. Love the podcast, by the way. I think that that's great. You know, I think your podcast is honestly like in a really good spot as well. But I will say, like, so far it feels like a lot of different topics so far. Like eating the hottest wings in my city, I would literally just change that to eating the world's hottest wings. That's something I do a lot. I mean, I don't do it that much, but like I will, instead of adding, I went to the oldest underwater hotel in America. I will say I went to the world's oldest underwater hotel, and it was the world's oldest. But what I'm saying is, like, if I see a concept and like I go to the tallest treehouse in Texas, I'm not going to say I went to the tallest treehouse in Texas, because like that's not that cool, you know? And so I think even thinking in my city, even if it's a bit deceptive, you can almost narrate the intro to get around that, where it's like, today I'm eating the world's hottest wings. But like, I don't think people are going to fact check you. They might. There might be wing fanatics that fact check you. But at the end of the day, if the video is great, no one can taste how hot the wings are. Let's make it the title the best it can be. And so, yeah, I mean, I can see a lot of sort of, and this happens to me too, like, or it did happen to me early on. It's a lot of back and forth between, do I want this channel to be about me, or do I want it to be about content? And this is like a harsh, like big brother type advice that I feel like I wish I would have gotten, because I think it would have saved me a lot of identity crises. You either, if you want a lot of views, you probably have to accept that it's not going to be about you all the time. And I mean, people are successful that way a lot. But if your goal is literally like, I want to make a career out of this, Mike, I want to get like 1 million views a video, you kind of have to accept that like, I made the biggest decision of my life. Probably isn't going to be that mix moving forward. Even I'm quitting YouTube. I forgot how to vlog. And I know that's older stuff. I hate when people talk about older stuff because you change so rapidly. But that's just something to think about, man. Like, love this. I think your last upload, banger. Oh, dude, that's your most viewed. Let's go. That was 1 week ago. I love it, man. That's super exciting. Yeah. I mean, kind of a micro advice, dude. I love it. Kind of micro advice, but yeah, guys, dude, Jared, you're on fire. Maybe think about like maybe just Jared, or like, I don't know. The real Jared feels a bit, not a bit much. I think it's fun. Believe in yourself, whatever. Any name will sound good once it's successful. Literally, like growing up, I was like, Ryan Trahan. I wish I could change my name to Ryan Johnson or something. But I've learned to like my name. And so I think it's like one of those things where maybe there's a world where you change it to just Jared or your full name, or maybe not. But yeah, good job, dude. DJ the DJ. All right, let's go. I love these titles already. Okay, let's see what we're rocking with. I went deep into Facebook Marketplace. Weird. Love that. I think Facebook Marketplace videos are super funny. I think they're very relatable because like that iMessage bubble, like it's just so understandable. I will say, I feel like you could make this so much better as a thumbnail if you removed the one behind you and you just made the whole screen white. Like literally just take that photo on the right and just tilt it to where the viewers can read it very easily. Because as of right now, this pops up in my recommended. I'm like, they're kind of small shapes, and what does it look like? Hot Cheetos? Like I can't really see what those are. And maybe even creating some sort of conflict within the text. Like I think that's the big thing. I'm actually uploading a Facebook Marketplace video like next week, which is so funny. But it's like, I'm going to be highballing people on Facebook again. And it's something I've done in the past, like offering way too much money. And I had a friend recommend that like I make it's like going to be an image of something cheap, like literally a Cheeto or something. And I'll be like, I'll offer you $1,000. And then there's an actionable response that's like, I'm on my way. Or like, I see you, or something that's like, oh my gosh, did that moment happen? And so them saying just dragon's blood is something we already knew from the title of the listing. And so maybe if they responded like, you will die soon or something like that, I think that'd be super funny. It's like, because that almost matches your face. You're like, this dude's a freak. But yeah, man, I would remove the thing behind you. I think it's too many shapes, and white would actually work so much better behind you. It would make your face pop out. And just like your gray shirt too. So yeah, I mean, I think that's great. Explaining Dogecoin to random strangers in NYC. I love the thumbnail. I think that you could probably lose the drop shadow behind both of you guys. I think that's a technique that like a lot of people do when they get started. And then you see like the really successful YouTubers stop doing drop shadow because it almost muddies up things. And so if you're not popping enough, maybe you should change the background like in real life as you're taking the thumbnail. I think that's something I'm trying to learn as well. Also, I would just change Dogecoin to like Doge, like one word, and make the C lowercase. Because if you look up Dogecoin, that's how it's spelled. And so I think it might just be more recognizable to people. Explaining Dogecoin to random strangers in NYC. That video is smashing, dude. Love it. That's super great. Maybe some sort of conflict where you're asking him something and he's like, I'll dance naked for a Dogecoin. I don't know. Like, make it actionable, because him just being confused isn't enough to make me want to be like, no way did this happen. Because it's just like, yeah, the dude is confused by Dogecoin ? So yeah, I think that's like a few easy fixes. Can I backflip in 48 hours? I think it's just a lot of shapes going on, and you reacting to yourself is really funny. But I think that if you sort of implement some of the techniques, if it was literally just you on a green grass field doing a backflip, guarantee you your click-through rate will go up if it just looks super clean, like a flat green field and you doing a backflip, really high quality photo, no text on screen, nothing. That's it. I think simplicity is our best friend. Yeah, I mean, I feel like these are probably, I can just see so much growth from these, so I don't think I'll comment on those too much. Yeah, man, I think you have a lot of potential. I think this is super exciting, and I'm excited to watch videos. So we're gonna do one more, and then we're gonna get to Q&A. Investing with Root. Love it, dude. That's a sick logo. Let's talk money. I think it's a great niche. I think it's a great niche to be in. But Crypto Girl, you might watch Crypto Girl. I don't know. Maybe, but you have to let me know how the videos are. But yeah, let's take a look at this. So why is crypto better than stocks? That's good. I think that's a good question, especially for people in this niche. Or maybe a better question is crypto better than stocks? Because you might have people that are on the fence about both. But if you're saying why is crypto better than stocks, it's like assuming an answer already. And so you're probably cutting out people who think that stocks are better or crypto's better. Maybe people already think crypto's better, so they have no value of watching that video. I think just making is crypto better than stocks? Yeah, I think the thumbnail's fine. Obviously, it's a lot of unrealistic shapes. The background looks like a sunset, and then it looks like this massive sort of like balance thing. This is a niche that I feel like it's hard because if you look at people like Graham Stephan, like the biggest finance channels, they're making thumbnails that look, in my opinion, awful. And I talked to Graham. I'm friends with Graham. And I've told him that. And he's like, no, they get the best clicks. And I'm like, okay. And maybe they do. And I guess the big thing is just like being consistent. I love that your face is on all of these. In my personal opinion, I would ditch the white stroke or any stroke whatsoever. I think that we're seeing the bigger channels take a much more realistic approach, meaning like, all right, I'm not going to do the drop shadow. I'm not going to do the stroke. I'm just going to make sure that I pop regardless, because that's mostly the goal is like we think we want to make ourselves pop more. And so, yeah, dude, like love that your face is in these. Love that you're doing shorts. That's super good. Solana, dude, I got some Solana. That's great. I'll definitely have to check out your videos. But yeah, man, a quick start guide to driving a Tesla. That does feel like a slight deviation from sort of the stock type things. And so just be weary of like, okay, what am I building towards? Dude, you upload a lot. I love this. I love how active you are. This thumbnail, again, I feel like the big hand just feels like deceptive for some reason. And that's kind of what I tell Graham. Like, if you're a finance channel, I want you to have a very crisp aesthetic, almost like Marques Brownlee, MKBHD, where it's like, okay, I trust this dude. But for me, whenever I see like big hands and like crazy colors and like a big ear here, I'm like, this dude's trying to sell me something. And maybe you are trying to sell someone something, but if you can make yourself the most just presentable, aesthetic, like trustworthy, I think you're going to be making not only get more clicks, but I think you're going to be making your personal brand much more reputable. And so, dude, like literally, I think I'm going to start watching your channel. I've been consuming a lot of content like this. But yeah, man, I think it's just like ditch the white stroke. I don't like the red font here. I'm just kind of shooting from the hip, by the way, because you have so many videos, which I love. I think white text is the meta. Black text if you have to, but any colorful text, in my opinion, is like a no-no. And so just keep that in mind if that's something you want to implement. And yeah, dude, I mean, overall, I think you're doing great. You're uploading a lot, so you have a lot. Just make sure you're learning from the uploads. Like experiment with the titles, experiment with the concepts, and just be a student of your channel and continue making connections with your audience. And I think you're on a great path. I'm literally look. I'm a subscriber right now. Boom. New subscriber. Let's go. So yeah, I think you guys, everyone I looked at, like I'm super excited about you guys. And it's crazy because like, if you think about it as a bigger picture, I think freaking Tony Robbins or some motivational speaker said this. I used to watch a lot of like motivational content in high school, but something that always stuck with me is he talked about like how golfing, if you are trying to hit a ball and you're trying to get a hole in one, you could literally smash it. It goes like so far to the right, like hundreds of feet to the right. You completely miss the target. A few degrees, less than a few degrees, a fraction of a degree change, and you'll be right on the freaking hole in one. I don't know anything about golf. You'll be right where you need to be. And it's the smallest changes that make the biggest differences. And so I'm so excited. Like you guys are all on the right track. And so just keep that in mind. Continue being excited to learn and help each other out. And yeah, I think that's super fun. So congrats to you guys. And we can do a little Q&A section. I'm super excited to talk to you guys.
Ryan, you just got to stop screen sharing, and then I'll pull people up.
Gotcha. Boom.
Hi, Ryan.
Hi, is that Grant?
Yes, nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you too, Grant.
So my question is, a big point that you made earlier on is the importance of developing a target audience. And then
Yes.
also the point about the difference between people that go for niches and broadly appealing content. I think when we start to get to that difference between the two, there can be a lot of ambiguity for us newer creators of how do we pick what type of videos we want to do while still doing something that's broadly appealing. So what helped inspire you to do these types of series that fit your personality while still being broadly appealing? And what do you think creators like us can do?
Awesome. Yeah, Grant, that's a great question. That's something that I think a lot of people are going to fight with, because I was even talking to Mike, and he does like RC content. And for me, I did running content, and everyone kind of has that moment. Like if you get successful in your niche, you're kind of like, we're all greedy by nature. We're like, what if I could reach more people? And so, honestly, I think a niche is great, like getting started, but there are ways to expand within a niche to everyone. And I'm sure you guys all know about ZHC. Dude's super successful YouTuber, guy with the teal hair. Love that guy. He was telling me how the way he scaled, he had like 3 million subscribers, which is uber successful already. But from there, his growth has been insane. He was like, I stopped making videos that only artists could be interested in, and I started customizing things that everyone is interested in. So he did iPhones, iPads, like he made it broadly appealing, not through the content, not through the niche, but through the variable in each video. So like even with RC content, if the variable is like, I don't know, like I delivered food with an RC car, like the RC car becomes a variable within the two variables that are interesting. And I think if you're at least half appealing to everyone, you can dominate a niche. But with that being said, like I think that getting started in a niche is a smart idea, and don't be afraid to like let scaling come in the future and not now.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I'll leave the room for some other people.
Awesome, Grant. So nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you too.
Just real quick, guys, before I bring up the next spotlight, I just want to make sure we're asking our best question each so we can get through as many people as possible, because there's no way we're going to get through everybody. So if we could ask your favorite question instead of 2 or 3. Thanks, guys.
Sweet. I'll try to be quick too.
No. You don't need to feel rushed.
Okay. I'm not. I'm chilling.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. I'm so
Hello.
excited. Hello. Okay, so my question is, we've seen a big difference in thumbs from like super photoshopped thumbnails like 2017, 2018 to like really minimalist thumbnails with either a very, very small amount of text or no text at all.
Right.
So what do you think the reason for that was? And where do you think thumbs are going in the near future?
Yes, that's super good. I love that question. And it's something I think about a lot, where it's like, even the idea that thumbnails are changing kind of begs like a question of like, am I keeping up with what's working? Like how do these people know how to change it in that direction anyway? And so what I've sort of learned is, one thing you can hedge against is like, if your thumbnails are always consistent, you know that your audience at least is going to be interested. But the question is like, how do I also adapt with what's changing? And in my opinion, I think that people are just getting better at understanding the market, or like all these people that are on YouTube every month. I think people are understanding how to get them to click at a higher rate. And so the whole, like the competitive nature of click-through rate is so real. And I think that's why like you're going to see just better and better thumbnails that are like you're seeing for the first time. You're like, oh my gosh, I can't not click on this. But YouTube's been around for like 13 years. Like how has no one ever done this before? And so I really think it's a competitive landscape. And man, just keeping up with it is so fun and exciting. And it sparked so many ideas for me that's another thing I forgot to mention. Going on incognito mode on YouTube is so fun, because you're seeing like the most broad of broad content possible. and you're seeing these thumbnails that probably get clicked on like millions of times a day. So I think just being a student of it and learning, it's something that is not really describable. And I think it is algorithm driven. But yeah, like hope that answers the question. Thanks, Carly. So nice to meet you.
What's up, Brian?
Yo, what's up?
What's up? Yeah, thanks for the tips. I appreciate that a lot.
Awesome, Rachel, for sure.
But my question is, so I'm a college student. I also do cross country, so I can relate.
Hey, let's
So
go.
I'm wondering if you were in the position you were when you were in school, what would you focus on most to grow your channel with the time that you had then?
Whoa. That's a good question. That's crazy. Also, the crazy thing is you can make money now, like legally, which is so cool. Like that's awesome. Man, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like making content with my team was so exciting. I think that people, especially in the running community, like you're not making running content though, right?
No, I'm not. I'm trying to, like, I'm sort of at that point you were saying earlier where I'm sort of done being in a niche and I want to scale out to like a more broader audience.
Okay. Can you tell me a channel that you look up to that is doing well like that?
Kelly Wakasa.
Oh, okay. Haley told me about her. Okay. Yeah. So I honestly like here, I'm gonna go look at her channel real quick. Am I still on screen?
It's a guy, by the way.
Wait, oh, that's like, okay, that's Elliot Choi's friend, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Let's see. So he makes very much like conceptual, but they're very artistic, right? Like they're very well done videos.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know, like he has a pretty crazy life and he does a lot of things that I would say are not that relatable in a way. But I don't know. He's telling great stories through this. Like, would you consider yourself a storyteller?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm trying to focus my channel on.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, I will say, I think the biggest step is like, if you look at his titles, all the titles are what I would say the most broadly appealing you can get. Like they're conceptual, they're very simple, and maybe the thumbnails on his end could be like more like Mr. Beastie, but that doesn't really fit his style. And so I think just making sure that the concepts that you're going to film are intentional and something that people can understand quickly, consume, experience the whole story, and then move on. I think just making sure that each video is like that, I think that's going to be huge for you. But I would just absorb like the time you're in, and like you're in a very high stress time of your life. But at the same time, it's like the Isaac Newton thing, like an object in motion stays in motion. I don't know how I was uploading like 3 times a week in college, but I was. And I think it's just like, you are just like on high throttle. So try to take full advantage of that in your environment and just like be easy on yourself and continue learning and trying to tell better stories every time, but focus on the packaging. And I think that's like the big secret, honestly.
Okay, awesome. Sounds good. I'll do that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, for sure. I'll be rooting for you. I'm so excited.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, I was thinking of Kelly Stamps. That's who I was thinking of. That's funny. Hey,
Do you remember me?
oh shoot, wait, hold on.
You forgot your surprise right there.
Oh my gosh, no way, dude. How you doing?
I'm doing good, dude. I'm doing good.
That's crazy. Oh, that's awesome.
I've
glad
still
you're
been
here, man.
trying, but I kind of gave up on.
Dude,
Honestly,
all
that-
good. Hey, we'll make it happen eventually.
All right, so I don't want to take up too much time. Let me
All right.
give you this question. For a smaller channel that's under 100, for a smaller channel that's under 1K subs, is TikTok a good way to get an audience for YouTube?
It's a good question. Something I fight with, dude. I don't consider myself good at TikTok, man, but I've seen people blow up from TikTok. But I think what's important, honestly, I think YouTube comes first, because you'll see a lot of TikTokers that want to go to long form and they just like don't get it. and they're like, "Ah, I have such a big platform, but I'm getting like 1% or less than 1% of the views on my YouTube videos. And it's because like, unless you're making TikToks that are basically just cut downs of your YouTube videos, which I think you should do. I think it's like a no brainer because it might go viral if you're doing it well. Unless you're doing that, it just feels like a place that, I don't know, like it's its own thing. But for example, here's a little case study. I have a friend, Lewis Weiss, and he's like this engineering channel, and he had like 3,000 subscribers. Every video got like 500 views, pretty solid. He posted this YouTube video, cooking a chicken cooking a chicken by slapping it. And it got like 300 views, posted on TikTok. It got 10 million views on TikTok. Overnight, channel blows up. All his other videos all have like millions of views now. That video has 10 million views on YouTube. And that only could have happened from TikTok. Like it was all external like sources of views. And so that's a thing for sure.
Wait, that video got 10 million on YouTube after it got on TikTok?
Yup. It's crazy because I think what happened is like, okay, they saw that he just didn't have enough impressions before. Like YouTube couldn't tell that people were really interested in stuff because whenever you're just getting started, they only show it to such a small amount of people. If that small amount of people isn't rocking with it, you don't really get many chances to see an entirely different demographic try to click on your video. Like they don't really show it around. So TikTok, he went viral on TikTok. All these people are looking up chicken slapper, click. And now all these different demographics, all these different kinds of people, YouTube's like, oh, this person's interested. And then they started just blasting his whole channel. And so to answer your question, I should be a lot more for TikTok. I'm just biased because I don't do it that much. But yes, TikTok's probably the key to getting started. But I think like his videos were also insane for a year before he even got any attention. So I do think that titles, thumbnails, great videos comes before just blowing up on TikTok. I think it's a A-B situation. So.
Got you, dude. I appreciate it.
For sure, man. Good luck, dude.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, what's up, man?
Thanks
Jonathan.
so much for viewing the channel. I really appreciate that.
For sure. Love your setup, dude.
Thanks. I'm just wondering, in your opinion, isn't it good to include like personal acronyms or themes that like you're trying to like make up in your videos and stuff? Like kind of like PewDiePie's little why, but is it a good idea to start that stuff while you're small or wait till you're a bit bigger?
Man, that's a great question. I feel like that's something, it depends on your goals for sure. I definitely think having consistent like taglines with your community where it's like, hey, Sips, like, I don't know, just like something that's very much, it makes them feel at home. Like, I think when people can imagine you were walking down the street and a subscriber saw you, what would they say to you? Is there like something you'd be like, dude, like, I don't know, like there just has to be some sort of relationship there, I think. And you can create that by having taglines or like Lawai is a great example, but he also uploads so much and he was uploading so much before I would say titles and thumbnails got very competitive. So like, it's sort of a self-fulfilling prophecy if people click those because it's like, those people already cared before they were even caring about what else was on their homepage available to them. So I wouldn't put it in the title. I would totally like try to create consistent content, but I think I would make it, that's what I call formats. And I try to make conceptual, broadly appealing formats that I can sort of still make it feel like a standalone video, but it like my viewers know like, oh, I survived. I love when Ryan does, I survived, whatever. Or like, oh, overnight. But if you saw that title and thumbnail on its own, it would still make sense. So I think that's big.
Right. Cool. That makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I wish you the best of luck. I'm super excited about your channel.
Thanks. I appreciate it. See ya.
Mm-hmm. Sip gang. I love that. Let's go. That's so fun. My shirt's like dirty as well. I don't know. I just saw that. I saw my screen. Like I saw my face for the first time. My shirt's dirty. That's cool.
What's up, Ryan?
What's up? How are we doing, Justin?
I'm phenomenal. How are you?
I'm good, man. This has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, good. I'm glad that you're good. You know, that makes me happy. So on to my question. So I have for instance, I have a super old YouTube channel. I haven't really taken it seriously until now, like 11 years old. So been making videos for a long time.
Wow.
To get better, you know? So my question is, you talked about thumbnails, talked about a lot of things. I know that a lot of my old thumbnails are just trash. Is there ever a point in which it is too late to go back and change them because YouTube is just not going to put out that to anybody else? How far back should I go? Should I just start grinding 11-year-old content and just be like, in my life now, I'm a slave to the algorithm? Like, I don't know what to do.
Dude, I love that question. That is such a good question because no one thinks like that. But I have a great friend. His name's Tyler Oliveira. And if you guys ever have a chance, look up his channel. The dude makes like the most broadly appealing content in the world. But he is the biggest proponent. He's like, I just made a great video. It has good enough retention. I'm going to keep changing this thumbnail until it goes viral. And he literally did it, dude. Like he goes back and changes a video that was at like 100K, which he's a pretty large channel. And then I'll check in like 3 months. It's got 1 million views. I'm like, dude, how are you just creating these views? And he's like, I changed the packaging until it works. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you are like, it feels dumb because it doesn't feel like you're actually working on it because it's created already.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, this video's dead. It gets like no views a day. But you can literally revive or like accelerate a video. I think the big criteria for you, Justin, is like, is this a good video that I think can go viral in today's times that also has good retention? Because that's everything. And if it's just missing packaging, I would say it's a no-brainer.
I shouldn't go back to the stuff before I knew. Like there was that learning period. I shouldn't go back to those videos. I should go to like, I'm proud of this. And more people need to see this. So. Exactly,
dude. I think that's a great use of your time. I would make new thumbnails for 20 videos before I even film your next 5. Like, I think that's a great use of your time and you'll see it. Like if you apply the principles I showed, you'll see some great changes.
My team won't be too happy about that though. They'll be like, we need to make
we need to make some videos. What you like? I mean, I think it's a good use of time. It doesn't take too long and I think it's smart.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, is Tyler in here? Tyler in Creator Now? That's so funny. He's great. Very smart guy.
Ryan, what's up? How's it going?
Yo, Felix, how you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm pumped to have you on this. So I've seen your content with crypto and, you said earlier that it was like a smaller niche. And so I was curious, like, what inspired you to make content involving crypto? Because I've seen you've made several videos with Bitcoin and Dogecoin.
Ooh, you got me, dude. That's a good question, man. Okay. I think this is almost what I was saying about ZHC. So ZHC, like I said, he was an artist. He wasn't happy with the views. So he applied a very viral / broadly appealing concept to the art. And I think that's almost what I was doing. Like I survived on only Bitcoin. I think it begs a question that a lot of people have heard about Bitcoin. Like I made a video 2 years ago. And at that point, everyone's talking about, oh, Bitcoin's blowing up. And there's at least a big enough impression pool for me as a creator. I feel like, okay, I think this has a chance. And it ended up being like 6 million views on my channel, like the 2-year-old one. And then it was just like, okay, I can do crypto now. Like Dogecoin's big enough. Bitcoin's big enough. I did a second part to the Bitcoin with Eric actually. And yeah, man, I think the big thing is like, am I making this content for crypto fanatics or am I making this content for literally 10-year-olds, 80-year-olds, my parents' age to enjoy? And are they going to be interested? Because I think there's a difference between that and sort of like the channel we looked at earlier.
Yeah, so that's that's honestly what I'm trying to do with my channel is like everything's been based off of the cryptocurrency. Like I'm pretty, like I would say invested in, which EOS. And, but I'm trying to get it, educate the general public about it. So I actually did a video where I traveled from Colorado to Texas, only paying with that cryptocurrency.
Whoa.
And I actually got into this Creator Now season 3 by paying Eric personally with the EOS.
Whoa, that's cool.
So, hey, I know you're in Austin and I'm here in Houston. If you ever ready for another like video involving crypto, I'd love to get you involved with what we're doing with EOS.
Heck yeah, man.
Yeah, hey, that could be the next Dogecoin. That's my beef at least. So
For sure,
But you can
dude.
ask
I
Eric
appreciate it.
himself. It was pretty efficient when I sent him over the EOS. But
Sick,
yeah, I
man. That's
appreciate you
awesome.
answering that question.
Definitely, Felix. Thanks so much, man.
Take care.
Crypto is crazy, guys. Yeah, nice light plug. Nah, that's cool, man. I'm thinking about doing Ethereum next, but Ethereum might be too niche, so we'll see.
Hello.
That Ellie?
Sorry,
What's
I've got a bit
up?
of a sore throat, so I sound a bit. My throat's not great, but
All good.
I'm confused about something, Mr. Ryan Trahan. I'm
Tell me.
hoping you can help me.
Okay.
So, the question's kind of like, how do you know that you've got a good thumbnail? Because a lot of like my top like viewed videos on my channel, like one I posted yesterday is like done really, really well with views. But I went into the analytics and the CTR is terrible. Like it's 2%.
Yeah.
And I'm finding that a lot of my videos, like they'll spike in loads of views and then they'll kind of just stop.
Okay.
So I feel like I want to kind of change the thumbnail I just did.
Okay.
But the views are like skyrocketing. So I don't understand like how you know you've got a good thumbnail and what, I don't really understand the percentage.
Can
So,
can you tell me your channel? Is that okay? I know I'm not sharing my screen.
It's Ellie Marie TV.
Ellie Marie TV. Okay. So one thing I want to make clear is like, oh my gosh, your thumbnails are good. Like this last thumbnail was really good. Oh my gosh, it did so well. Let's go. It got 887 views one day ago. Okay. That's your best thumbnail probably ever. Just my opinion. But one thing I want to make clear to everyone here is like high percentage of click-through rate does not mean good. Like my Tesla autopilot video with 20 million views has like probably freaking, I mean, it's like 6%, but it's a banger thumbnail. Like the click-through rate's super high. But at first day it was 25% and then 15 and then now 6. Like it's going to go down based on the more impressions you get. Look at views. Like if views are good, it's a victory. Like that's super great. If it's your 1 out of 10 best performing video, I would leave it personally. But take principles of that because it worked and apply them to your past 5 videos and see if anything happens. Like I think that it's the most clean thumbnail you have. It's very bright, colorful, and like even thinking of some other things like the fonts. I think the fonts may be different on some of these recent ones. Yeah, I think you can do a lot by taking the principles of this most recent one. So yeah.
Okay, do you think I should maybe do a more shocked face, like because I'm sneaking in, or leave the face how it is?
I snuck into Netflix's sex education film set. Okay, here's my big thing. I tell Eric this all the time. Everyone has different ideologies. I'm sticking by mine. I refuse to be a channel that's going to be doing like, or like, because I think that it creates a sense of like a lack of authenticity. Like there's no way he's really making that face as he's sneaking into this place. Because that would be like wasteful to use that energy. Like he's so focused on sneaking. What does that look like? What does it look like if you're like actually scared and like freaked out at this situation? And so I think it looks fine. You do look a little happy in the thumbnail. You look like, oh yeah, let's sneak in. Yeah. But that's fine. Like it doesn't seem like a threatening situation to me where it's like they're gonna pick you out, you know? So I really think it's great. I'm proud of you. I love it. Love to see it.
Thank you very much.
For sure. For sure. Great job.
Why is he looking like that? Unmute. Are we in?
Hey, Brad, let's go. Is that Tyler? Let's go. How you doing, man?
How are you?
Good, good.
I love you so much, Brian. Right now,
guys.
Right now we were filming with some other Creator Now people, and then we had to stop what we were doing to get this workshop in. So
love it, man. I appreciate all you guys. That's so sick.
Dude, thank you for being here, bro, and like doing this workshop. I'm sure like we were out for like half of it, but I'm gonna go back and like I'm gonna rewatch and take some notes. Like 10 times. 10 times, yeah.
Let's go, dude.
Let me get to it real quick. My question is, I really love how you mix in personality with idea-based And I'm a big like I'm very like stupid. I make these really dumb jokes, and sometimes I'm watching myself. I'm like, this is a really dumb joke, and I take it off because I'm worried about retention and things like that. And lately I've been watching my videos, and I'm like, my videos like, sure, it's nonstop, but it's like I'm starting to notice I'm going like the idea route, and I'm a big fan of what you do with mixing the whole personality in. My question is, how do you balance it, right? Like I'm assuming like even in your last video, I saw that like it was 8 minutes long, and I was wondering why you were taking so long on the joke. I was like, there's something that happened that like he's taking a really long time on this joke, and then it turns out like you had to leave the island a little bit early. I'm wondering how you mix it in, and how you like maybe calculate your risk while saying maybe my retention is going to go down by my audience, the people who really subscribe to me and love me, they're going to appreciate this joke or this moment, you know?
Yeah, dude, that's such a great question. I feel like that's something I fought with. I went to Vid Summit in 2019, and that's where they teach you like retention. And my video after that was so tight, bro. It was like the cuts were so fast. I was almost cutting myself off every time. And I've just been backtracking since then, like taking the principles that I learned, which are completely valid. Like if you want good retention, you implement the things that Mr. Beast does. However, what I realized is like you said, I wasn't proud of the content. It didn't even feel like me. And at the same time, like I don't need to be the forefront of this video. I'm telling like the world's loneliest house. I feel like there was a story there that was different from my story that needed to be told. Like I had a whole experience in Iceland. I had a whole trip there, bro. But then I land there. I'm there. I go on this trip. I had so many other emotions. I had so many other moments. I went to the guy's house, Bajrani's house, had dinner with his wife and kids. Like I had this whole experience, but the story was this house. And so how can I make that as like exciting for everyone as possible and still like mix in jokes that I think are funny that actually make it me? And so you'll notice like in my intros too, I think this is a very special thing you guys can all do if you want to make your content feel unique. Mr. Beast intros are like, today we are going to be spending 50 hours buried alive. And then he gets into it most of the time. Sometimes he'll have a little joke. I think it's very powerful to like explain the concept. I'm telling you guys my whole secret right here. Explain the concept, joke. Further explain the concept, joke. Further explain the concept, joke. Like do it in a way like they're like, oh, this guy actually, he's like trying to make me laugh too. And it's like a subtle thing that the viewer's like, oh, that's kind of funny. Like I'm also gonna get that in this video. And so I think that that's like a huge, huge, powerful thing. Do not like retention's important, but more important than that is longevity and creating a channel you're proud of for 10 years and making it something that you feel like you're going to be able to show your kids later. I'm like, I'm so excited about this content I'm making because that's going to fuel you to keep going. So I think that's big. I'm super proud of you guys. Like I think Tyler was there maybe. Like I'm a huge fan of what Tyler's doing. So yeah, you guys keep it up. There he is. Yeah, Brad, I believe in you, bro.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, for sure. Yes. Great question, man. Something I fight with too, for sure.
Hello.
Hi. How's it going, Catherine?
Hi. Good. How are you?
Good. It's been a great night. I'm having a good night.
Yeah. So my question is there a particular thing that you can do to tell YouTube you want your videos to be promoted to an American audience? Because I got stuck, and like it's not a bad thing, but like also if you want to make money, you do need to have, you know, that American audience. But right off the bat, I got pushed into like the Indian algorithm. And my viewers are 10% United States, and I don't know how to.
Whoa.
Yeah. So I don't. And like I am in Florida. I live in the United States. So I don't know what's up with that.
Interesting. Okay, can I see your channel possibly? What's your channel's name?
Yeah, it's called Catherine Ann.
Oh, that's straight up Catherine Ann. I love it. That's a very American name. Oh my gosh, you have a big channel. Holy smoke. Okay, awesome. So I have the right channel. You have 51,000 subscribers?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I love your recent I'm Burned Out as a Mom thumbnail. That's
thank you.
Beautiful. Amazing. Okay, so one thing to recognize is like Indian audience is bigger than the American audience in terms of like daily active users. And so I guarantee you, I mean, Mr. Beast has already made like an Espanol channel and like people are going to want to conquer everything. However, I don't think that there's necessarily anything about, I'd have to watch your videos. I don't think there's anything about your content that screams like, oh, Americans probably want to watch this. Like, it feels like a very American lifestyle where you're like, it's your child and, you know, it's like you're being a mom and, you know, I'd have to like look at like, is there a particular video that went super viral for you or what does that look
So
like?
there is, but I recently unlisted it just because I'm trying to get away from it. But yeah, there was one video, but it was like a coming home, like my dad had a really big reaction type of situation.
Gotcha.
So it's like one of those one-off things that you would never like replicate type of thing.
Yeah. Well, even that, I feel like that doesn't like scream like, oh, this only appeals to a certain demographic. But honestly, like I would look at it not so much as like, oh, I'm doing something wrong. I would look at it as like, oh, cool. Like this audience is interested in me. Let me continue making good content and great thumbnails and just look at it as like a chunk of bonus views. If like, that's what I would think if I were you. Cause you know, CPMs are higher in America and like Australia and stuff. But yeah, I would just see it as like kind of a little bonus because I think your thumbnails are awesome. They're all so bright. And like, I think you're on an amazing track. Like just be patient, keep making content better. You'll see that grow, I think, if I were to guess.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Congratulations on the success.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going well. How are you doing, Ryan?
Good.
Thanks so much for all of your super valuable information. It was like,
dude, yeah.
I was just as fast as I could, as fast as you were talking. So I guess my question I have for you is, I am primarily a musician. I'm like a singer-songwriter, and a channel I look up to, like a popular channel that you might reference is like Connor Maynard or like Alex Iono. Those are like two channels that I watched a bunch of.
Yeah.
And my question, I guess, with those is like, how do I tell a compelling story as a musician in the thumbnail without necessarily like, giving away what I'm doing, because I might be like just doing a cover of a song?
Yeah. Can I look at your channel as well? Is it just Roth Music?
Yeah. It's
gotcha.
Raff and Company.
Oh. Okay. Just looking it up real quick. Sweet. Okay. So Connor Maynard, his views are crazy. I didn't even realize how big his channel was. I'm gonna take a look at his as well. So, okay, this is very exciting. I think that the biggest thing that it's honestly an advantage that you're in a niche. I think a lot of people see their niche as a limiter when they're getting started, but I think it's easier, honestly, to like have a thing that you are really good at, like a specialized skill set, which for you is music, and finding ways to actually make that more broadly appealing. And so, I mean, for me, my question to you is this sort of an end to a mean? Is that even the phrase? Is this like, is the end goal being a YouTuber, or are you trying to let it sort of facilitate a career in the music industry?
So I want to create a community. Basically, this isn't a means to an end to be like a famous artist. I want to create something super unique that has like never been done before, which is basically like an artist, a very well-known mainstream artist that has an incredible YouTube presence, because I feel like YouTube has like the best, maybe I'm biased, but like has literally like the best community of people. And I don't think that like that really exists, like truthfully. And I'm trying to find that pairing, because my artist name is Raff and Company, and the company side is the belief in creatives and the collaboration and like the collective creative spirit that people like give off to each other. So that's why like I'm Raff, but the company is everybody else.
That's sick, dude. I love that. I freaking love your vision too. Like I think having a very strong vision, it's like such a cheat code, because it's going to push you so far, and you're like, just your passion for it is going to put you in places that you wouldn't have been before. So I'm just super proud of that. But The other thing is like, if I'm being honest and looking at where music is popping off, it is TikTok. And I think is it Ty Verdes? I think he's the guy like completely, dude, blew
crushing
up,
it.
bro. And I think that TikTok serves that format so much better because it's so hard to package a music video. It's so hard because it looks like this big production and it looks like something that like people aren't just consuming music. Like some people listen to music videos feel like something like a special moment. Like, oh, this artist I already know put out this song. I'm gonna go watch the visual for it. But like trying to get algorithmically inclined impressions and views is so difficult. Dude, I hate this because I don't like love TikTok, but for you, if I was a musician, I would be like, yo guys, just put out this new song. And this is for every ex-girlfriend that ever cheated on you. And then you're just like, you like in your car, you're just banging the song. I think that works so well and you can be so much more accessible on there. But dude, I love the vision. I think that probably TikTok is first though. Because even Connor Maynard, I know he's probably huge on TikTok if I were to guess, just like the sing-offs and stuff.
Right. Yeah. Totally. That makes sense. That's like the number one thing to like go is from being like unknown to being like known, and then you can kind of figure that out.
Exactly. Dude, the top charts speak for themselves. Like on Spotify, so many TikTok songs. I think that's just like, it's a cheat code right now that's never been available to musicians. So I'm rooting for you, dude. I'm hyped to listen.
Thank you. New song, October 5th.
Let's go, October 5th. I'm so excited. I'll be listening.
All right.
Cheers.
Oh, hey. Howdy, Ryan.
Yo!
Howdy. I've been watching since 2018.
Let's go.
I was wondering, what happened to your suspended Twitter and what's the purpose of your secret account with 277,000 subscribers?
Dude, that's great. I freaking love your glasses, man. Everything about you is so awesome. Okay, so the Twitter, dude, I didn't like Twitter, and so I deleted my Twitter. If it's suspended, that's interesting. That's kind of makes it edgier than it really is. But I just deleted my Twitter account. I feel like it didn't like. There's no brand deals on there. It was a great tool for me to connect with my community, which was fun. But I noticed that like it became an environment that became too toxic. Like there would always be people arguing in the replies, and I'm like, I'm just trying to like make people happy and entertain people. This isn't an environment that's happening. So I just deleted it, but suspended sounds sick. Maybe it's suspended. I did something bad. But regarding the secret channel, I've been trying to figure out my second channel for a long time. And what I realized is like, if I just don't try to make it a big thing, it's probably going to be what I want it to be, which is I get to do whatever I want, have a good time. And right now, like, I think honestly, I really enjoy commentary and like humor and comedy just at my desk. And that's my ability to do that. I love that it feels like this like secret thing that like the people who watch it. And I'm not really like trying to do anything crazy on there. So secret channel, go watch, guys. Shout out to Creator Now. Check it out.
All right. Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, Tony. Ryan Train all lowercase for sure. Don't look out for the main channel because that's obvious, not a secret. Is that thumbnail? That's so funny.
Hi.
Hello. What up, Zach?
A huge fan, by the way.
Dude, thank you so much.
Pretty much. So I've had a channel for like almost 3 years now, and I had like a really old bad video, and the packaging isn't even very good, but it got like almost 100,000 views, which is a lot for me.
Yes, dude.
And it's not really what I do anymore. Like my niche is filmmaking now, and it's like some random trampoline video. So do you think I should like private that, because it's still gaining views, and I don't know if that's what I want people to see my channel as.
Are you monetized?
No.
I would leave it, dude. I would leave it until you're monetized. I'm like, I had a friend who was trying to get monetized. He took down like this fight video from like 2013, like people just fighting at school. It was getting like 100 views a day, and he took it down. He's like, he deleted it. He didn't even private it. He just deleted the video. And so he lost all that time. And then like, yeah, he's still not monetized. So I think just keep going until you're monetized. And then like even if people do click on it, I don't think you're gonna be losing anything by people seeing that video and then seeing your channel. And it's like, where's the freaking trampoline content? I don't think that's a big deal. So I think you're doing great. Just keep doing what you're doing. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
For sure, Zach. Best of luck, man.
Hi, Rain.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. You? How are you?
Good, Alejandro. So excited for the question, man.
Yeah. So my question for you is, how do you go about your ideas? Because I think you're super original and some type of content we don't actually get to see lots of in YouTube. So yeah.
Wow, dude. Thanks. Yeah. Pretty simple question. I think, okay, I'm gonna look at my channel real quick. I think when I think of video ideas, first of all, brainstorming, like in 2020, I brainstormed an hour a day on average every day. And it doesn't sound like, okay, that sounds crazy, but like when you're actually doing it, you might have no good ideas on Monday, no good ideas on Tuesday, no good ideas on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, you have 4 crazy ideas where you're like, wait, these are actually good. And I can envision a thumbnail that is so clickable. It's like, this is worth money. Like this idea that came out of my brain is worth money. It's worth growth of my channel. It's so valuable. And I like to think of brainstorming as like, I don't know if you guys have seen a famous picture of the cartoon character. It's like a tunnel. There's 2 tunnels, top and bottom. So one dude's like digging for diamonds and the diamonds are right there. And this other guy was farther along, but he turned around like right before he got to the diamonds. I think of brainstorming as that, where it's very much like you are so close to making an idea that's better than the one you're about to do. I might as well spend an hour today to see if I can find it. Infinite ideas out there. You'll always be able to like come up with better ones in the future. But yeah, man, I think when I think within parameters, like I said before, here's a practical piece of advice. I have 3 formats right now, which is I survived, I have overnight, and I have the penny thing. And so I survived on a penny it's like a roulette wheel, guys. Like if you look at Mr. Beast, he's done like, I survived 50 hours in like a insane asylum or something. It's a roulette wheel of like, okay, here's my first part of my sentence. Here's some interesting things that could go into it. Like overnight in a freaking fire hotel. Like, I don't know. I'm just thinking of like crazy things. It's a roulette wheel. You have half the puzzle solved already. And if I was you and I was trying to like get a bunch of views, I would look at the people getting a bunch of views. They probably have formats. And I would do a roulette wheel of brainstorming where it's like, oh, what if I did this, but with dogs and like with puppies and like with cameras, or like there's so many ideas that can come from just effort, which I love. Like you don't even have to be creative. It's just digging and thinking of like going through a dictionary and thinking of different words that could be plugged in. So it's very practical, but yeah, just do the most simple idea that looks enticing to click on.
Okay, great. Thank you.
For sure, Alejandro. Best of luck, man.
You too. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Red and Link do a good job. Go look at Red and Link. They have so many videos and they're all interesting. Roulette wheel.
Ryan, what's up?
Yo, Emil?
Hell yeah.
All right. How you doing, man?
Sorry, I'm just a little excited.
Me too, man. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks so much for all the value you're providing us. It's just honestly just amazing.
I love it, man, for sure.
Yeah, so going back to what you said earlier in the call, you talked about click-through rate and how you would prioritize that in like the brainstorming process. Mm-hmm. And so I can kind of like connected with me because I have this like other soccer compilation channel that isn't my main channel.
Yeah.
And one of my videos there did like 1.5 million views. And I looked at the retention, it's like 20%. I looked at the click-through rate, it's like 5%. Yeah. But then I looked at the impressions and it's like 12 million.
There it is.
So I think you had like a good point about that. And then that's what brings me to my question, which is you say like you have the ideology that less is more in the thumbnail.
Yeah.
And I know that Eric always says like you should limit it to 3 objects.
Yep.
But then I see channels like the Sidemen or Aiden Ross, and you have like a bunch of different like effects, and it's kind of like overwhelming too. So I'm kind of, my question is like, what would you say is like the better route or something maybe that you would prefer? Because it's still like interesting with all the colors, but you know, it's a lot more like.
Okay, so here's my theory. I think they know their audience. I think that's what it comes down to. And it's not that people who do simple packaging don't know their audience. I think people who do very simple packaging with 3 objects are trying to make everyone their audience. And sometimes that's bad. Sometimes it doesn't make sense. I think Sidemen and Aiden Ross have such a strong following already. They could package it however. Dude, this is my personal belief. I think that, they're successful, but if they had the 3 object, very simple, realistic packaging, I bet the people who love them would still click, and I bet they'd be appealing to more people as well. And they'd probably be twice as big as they are. And that's just like, it's like the what if reality was a different way type of question. But dude, I think that at the end of the day, the goal is clicked from nothing for like a starting channel. And I don't think that their packaging is good. Like, I think they're getting views and I'm very happy for them, but they've been on, like, Sidemen have been around forever. And like KSI is like his own guy. And like the hype around them is self-sufficient to get them views. But I don't think that the thumbnails are the reason for that success, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that answered my question. Thanks so much.
Love it, man. Awesome. Let's do one more. I think we're doing one more question. Dang, I didn't even realize we've gone over as much as we have. I'm having such a good time, but we'll make this one the last one. Yeah, Aiden Ross gets views because he's Aiden Ross. He's like huge.
Hello.
Hello.
How you doing, Ryan?
Andrew? I see people screaming Andrew in the chat. Andes.
Yeah, so I just started YouTube, just found out my name finally with the help of some other Creator Now people.
Love it.
Came up with Andes.
I love it, man. That's fun.
How you doing though? So my question was kind of answered. I had a question about like the content, about how you think of content. So like as a content creator, I always have very creative ideas coming through my head and everything, but how do you center your content around a specific niche? Like you have like a format to like, okay, like I'm gonna like tie this whatever idea you have into this specific niche, or like what do you consider your niche to be? If that, like, I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, dude, that's a good question. Dude, honestly, it's tough because I've had so many different phases in my channel. I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. Like I think I've had content, like I said, like where I did running, and then I did commentary like Cody Ko, and then I did experiments like Mr. Beast, and I did vlogs like Logan Paul and David Dobrik, and now I'm back at conceptual, like I guess that's what you call the videos I make now. But in my opinion, the reason I started doing conceptual again is because I saw that the videos I had done previously that were experimental, conceptual, whatever you call it, I guess it's a niche in itself, but niche implies like a target audience. I don't think that there's a target audience in the stuff I'm trying to do. It's more like, how can I get people to like me consistently and enjoy my videos because of my personality? Like that's the community I want to hold. I want people to like me for me, but I think the funnel is just massive if I can make the idea clickable by everyone. And so my niche, I would say, is me. Like my niche is Ryan Trahan, hopefully. And the only way I'm trying to grow that is by the idea being as big as possible. And so that's definitely the goal. And I can tell you have a great personality. I think that's a great thing for you to try to pursue, is like, I'm Andes. I'm Andes. I said Andes, gotta see the AI. That might be, I don't know, that might be a problem. But Andes, like, I think that, dude, just like make it about you in the content, but make the packaging the best it can be, because then you're limitless and people might be like, I love this guy. I'm gonna keep watching. This is what I want to see. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you. As and being the last question, I thank you, speaking on part of everybody in the Creator Now program. Thank you for coming on here, being so great.
For sure, man. I love all you guys. Like seriously, it's been just as rejuvenating and energizing for me. I think you guys are all just a breath of fresh air. So excited. Very excited to have talked to a lot of you guys, and I'm going to be I'm be rooting for you guys. Seriously, like, don't think I'm kidding. Like, Raf, I'm gonna be listening to some music, and like, I subscribe to a lot of you guys, so for sure, really appreciate you guys. Mike, just let me know if is this more of just like a goodbye? Like, is that really happening right now, or are we just how's that go?
Sadly, dude, this has been incredible. I have 2 pages of notes, and I just wanted to let everybody know that Ryan messaged us earlier and was like, "Hey, I want to go through everyone's channels as well." So like, that was all on him. That wasn't anything that we said like, "We'd like you to do this," and he was so pumped to do this. So, man, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. We all really appreciate it. Love the support of Creator Now, and hope to see you soon. Hope to see you back, because like, we I think that retention is something that we're all focusing on right now. But like, when you brought up click-through rate, and it doesn't matter how good your video performs if nobody clicks on it. So
exactly,
such a strong point. And like I said, I literally have 2 full pages of notes, and when we go to watch a recording again, I could probably double the amount of notes I have. So,
dude, that makes me so happy. I was kind of nervous. I just wanted to make sure it was as fun as possible. So, dude, yeah, I'd love to try to join the Geneva if I can, but I just want to keep up with you guys. And dude, Mike, thanks so much for hosting, and I had a great time.
I can extend the invite for Geneva if you'd like.
Please, yeah, I'll definitely have to get onto it.
Would love to see you in there, man. Thank you so much. We're gonna jam out to the song, and then we're gonna end.
All right, sounds good. Hey. This song is fire. It's a great song.